As President Obama reassesses the state of U.S. Israeli relations, House Speaker John Boehner is doubling down on his close relationship with re-elected Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Before the Israeli election, Boehner outraged the White House by inviting Netanyahu to speak to Congress without informing the president. Now he is planning a visit to Israel.
CBS News senior national security analyst Juan Zarate joins us from our Washington bureau. Juan, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
Is the House Speaker's trip, is this a jab at the White House, Juan?
Well, it's a bit of the politics still playing itself out, but clearly Speaker Boehner has a very good relationship with Benjamin Netanyahu, likely wants to pay his respects after the electoral victory, and certainly wants to send a message that the relations between the U.S. and Israel remain strong, especially at a moment of crisis and some tension. And so there is a diplomatic purpose for this, but certainly there is some politics still involved.
As you know, Juan, the president took several days to officially congratulate the prime minister. And on that call, he said something like, we want to reassess aspects of our relationship with Israel. What do you think that means? I mean, are we talking about UN sanctions?
Well, I don't think the U.S. Certainly would not support UN sanctions. I think what the U.S. is talking about there is in part measures that would force Bibi Netanyahu to step back from his remarks that he no longer supports a two-state solution. That was really a shocking moment for the U.S. and certainly for the Palestinians. This has been the baseline of U.S. policy and certainly international negotiations for the past 6-7 years. And so I think what you have there is a reassessment as to whether or not the U.S. would support the Israelis at the UN when a resolution comes up for a framework for that kind of solution. But certainly the U.S. is recognizing that there's international pressure growing on Israel and even Palestinian attempts to bring the Israelis before the International Criminal Court. And so the president's trying to send a signal, but certainly support for Israel will remain.
Juan, how deeply do you think relations between the U.S., the administration, the Obama administration, and Israel have deteriorated at this point?
I think this is not a good moment, clearly, Anthony. You have a problem of both personalities and policy. The president and the new prime minister of Israel certainly don't like each other. That's clear. The president didn't appreciate the address to Congress about the Iranian issue and the negotiations, and that was a problem. And clearly now you have two contentious issues. The issue of the Palestinian peace process, which remains a major stumbling block, and of course the question as to whether or not the Israelis will support ultimately any deal that the U.S. negotiates with Iran.
Juan Zarate in Washington this morning. Thank you, Juan, for being with us.